Good evening. It's Vijay here. Today is Sunday, 20th October 2024. I hope you all had a restful week and looking forward to a bright week tomorrow onwards, especially after the reflex rally which we saw on Friday. Now, if you go back and see what happened on Friday, it broke the so-called support levels. The Nifty broke the so-called support levels. Bank Nifty was strong. It did not. And you see, there was a lot of gloom and doom in the first 1 hour. And almost all analysts and market watchers were clear that we will go down to as low as 24,000 in the next few days. The Nifty went down below the previous low and has bounced back and closed about 24,800, 24,854. Now, I have been talking about the market doing well in the last 3 months of the year, especially in November and December, especially between Deepavali and Sankranti, which is we call Pongal in South. So I used to have this formula called buy Deepavali, sell Pongal. So typically before Deepavali, say a fortnight before Deepavali, is when the market bottoms out and then starts a rally leading up to Pongal plus or minus 1 week. So somewhere between 7th of January to 22nd of January, just before the budget, which happens on February 1st. So this phenomena is a very strange phenomena. I have observed this right from last 25 years. And what my observation has been is that some 75% of the observation have shown that Nifty either closes up or flat between Deepavali and Pongal. Now, this is a phenomena which has not been studied so much deeply. Over the years, I have got confidence to say that it is better to be a bull between Deepavali and Pongal because you've got a 75% and to 75% to 80% chances. In the market, if you get a chance above 55%, then you know you are on a good wicket. Here we are talking of was 75%. Now there has been gloom and doom, and gloom and doom is justifiable because there has been huge selling by FIIs, about 75,000 crores. So therefore, everybody is entitled to a view that things are only going to get worse. But I am not bearish at all. I am probably the last man standing or the last bull standing. But I have reasons why I should be not bearish. Let me show you historically what happens. Seasonality in the markets. Globally, November and December are good months for the market more often than not. So in India, we start somewhere in October and end in January. Not always global markets go up till January, or not always global markets start their bull rally in October. So, however, this time the US markets and European markets are bullish already, whereas Indian market seems to be struggling. So, just let's look at what is happening. This is a weekly chart of the Nifty. If you look at it, it is formed something like a head and shoulder pattern. I mentioned this on Friday that everybody seems to know about this pattern. So everybody is playing for the pattern. If the pattern is right, then we will get another 1,500 points down, which means it was around 23,000 and odd, because 24,800 was the support. So you take 1,500 points is 23,300. Now, so that is what the most of the technical analysts are talking about. So I would like to hold that, I would like to observe whether we're really going to do, we're going to break the neckline and then drop by. So on Friday, the bulls recovered their mojo, and the market is closed above the neckline. Bank Nifty is much stronger. So if you look at Bank Nifty, you see Bank Nifty has not closed anywhere near the neckline. Neckline for Bank Nifty is about 50,251. It has closed at 52,094, which is about 2,000 points above the neckline. So therefore, I put a question mark on Friday. For me, it doesn't look like Bank Nifty has, is in trouble at all. If you just look at it very stealthily, Bank Nifty is now trading at about 10 days high. If you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is about 10 days high. It has almost come to the close of, it is closing above the close, which is on 3rd October. So Bank Nifty is much stronger than Nifty, for instance. Nifty is struggling. We have had a good pullback on that day. People can still question. But what is the question we can put to Bank Nifty? Bank Nifty clearly looks stronger, and the head and shoulder, you can see It is not. It is moved away, and I have been mentioning that whenever a strong negative pattern, a distribution pattern which appears on the screen fails, then the force upward will be huge. So I won't be surprised if this has failed. Right now, it's too early to say, is what many analysts will say, because I gave about 3 days time for the Nifty. So one should give 3 days time for the Bank Nifty as to whether it will close, it will come down tomorrow and the following days, and then form a head and shoulder pattern. So if you want to anticipate it, right now the bulls are very strong in Bank Nifty. They have broken all the barriers, and they have closed about 10 days high. And one should go positive, in my opinion, especially with HDFC Bank, spectacular results. And Kotak Bank is not bad at all. Kotak Bank is not bad at all, and they are now acquired Standard Chartered's credit card division. So that should augur well. If markets are supposed to look for future, then Kotak Bank results, which are being questioned by a lot of analysts, should be seen in the rear view mirror. Now, let me talk about seasonality. This is what I want to just cover today, maybe a little long, but this is how it is. So let us say the seasonality, I am saying that 75% of the time, 10 days before or 15 days before Deepavali is on 1st. So we're already about just 10 days, trading days before Deepavali. So what happens? If you see last year, let's take last year. Last year, from September 15th, the market fell all the way October end 1400 points, and there was a drop of about 7%. 7%. This time we have fallen only 6% actually. So we had this major fall last year. People have forgotten about it. And then what happened? Then around 15 days before Deepavali, it bottomed out and then took off and went up 17.5% to hit 3,280 points, and it topped out on around 15 January, which is Pongal. So please remember, we are not talking of something in history, very long back in history. We are talking of what happened last year, which most people have forgotten. So we saw a 17.5%. I am not saying we'll go 17.5%. If you go 17.5% this time, we are looking at what? Nearly 29,000 on the Nifty. People are not even talking of 26,200 being crossed. 29,000 means you will get laughed at, but this is what data tells us happened last time. Okay, forget last time. Let's say last time was unique. So what happened in case of 2021? 2021, the Nifty between 26 September 2022 to 5th December. In fact, it topped out on 5th December of 2022. In the week that went up by 12.5%. That is 22-23. And then after that, what happened was the Adani problem crept in. Okay, what happened in 21-22? Again, Nifty from low on December 2021, it went up in the last 1 month till Pongal, which is about 12%. It was very sharp. That was because we had the market had crashed in October 21. So the market was on a downtrend in 21. So it topped out in 2021, 18th October, and then it was in a downtrend. So even in the downtrend, even in a bear market where Bank Nifty came down finally by 20%, Nifty came down by 18%, many stocks lost 50% in the ensuing bear market. Yet we had a relief rally which went up by 12% in a very, very short span of time. Then you look at what happened in 2020 and 2021. This was after the US elections, and the market went up. It bottomed out on 21st September 2020, and by the time it reached 18 January, it had gone up by 36%. Okay. Then you look at what happened in 1920. 1920 again, market bottomed out in 16 September 2019, and then it took off till around January 2020. That is just before COVID. It went up by 17%. Then you look what happened in 1819. In 1819, the market still went up by 10% in that 1819. When there was a bear market in the globally, and not globally, I'm talking India, across the board, that markets fell, especially mid cap, small cap, micro cap, fell up till 2020 March. Whereas Nifty also had a downtrend beginning September 2018 because of the IAFL scam, but it bottomed out in October 2018, 22nd October, and from there went up by 10% to hit the high on 14th January. Then you go back to what happened prior to that. That was in 17, 18. Again, 25th September 2017, it bottomed out. From there, it went up till 22nd January 2018 by about 15%. Then you would see what happened during the demonetization time. Now, demonetization happened in November, and then the market bottomed out in end December because there was a fear that there will be further action taken by the government of India. And when Mr. Modi mentioned that no more action, and the market took off till the Pongal, it went up by around 10.5%. Of course, the market kept on going up after that, but it went up those days also till Pongal. So where are we now? We are somewhere very close to what those numbers are in the past. That is, just 10 days before Deepavali. And I said that every single time you got a 17.5% last time, prior to that 12.5%, prior to that 12%, prior to that 36%, prior to that 17, 10, 15, 10.5. Every single time in the last 8 years, we have had a double-digit growth between Deepavali and Pongal. So if I were to follow law of averages, then see, people say law of averages will mean that this time it will fail. There will be an exception to the rule. But I know that there will be an exception to the rule. But will there be an exception to the rule this time? I feel it's unlikely. Nothing is guaranteed that it will go up by double digit. But just look at what are the conditions. The conditions are, in November, we will see a second Fed rate cut. And in December, again, we may see another third Fed rate cut, is what the market is indicating. Apart from that, ECB has cut 3 times. Japan says they will not raise. China has cut. Recently, they are again flooding the market with money. All over the world, excepting in India, the central bankers are flooding the markets. In such a case, it's highly unlikely that Indian market will be a standout as far as the bearishness is concerned. Of course, we have the black swan event. You could have a Israel-Iran war. But if you look at what is happening in Israeli market, today Israeli market has gone up by 2%. It has made an all-time high. Now, how is it possible that if there is a war cloud hanging over Israel, that Israeli market today, Sunday, they operate on Sunday also. Israeli market has done and hit an all-time high with a 2% gain. So in such a case, how can we expect that our market will again be very different from what the Israeli market is? For instance, I showed you Israeli market here. If you see here, it is a 2,180. This is the Tel Aviv 35, just like Sensex 30. It is sitting at an all-time high. This is a monthly chart. If you see monthly chart, you can see it just been going up and up and up. And today at 2180.67, it is an all-time high. So Israeli market is at all-time high. Global markets at an all-time high. Global central bankers are pumping in money. Only India is not doing it. But just look at the corporate results. They are not as bad as they were projected to be, especially in banking sector. Banking sector was supposed to be weak and results were supposed to be poor. And they said there is no deposits. HDFC Bank has got 17.5% increase in deposits, and they're doing extraordinarily well. So where is the question of the banks not getting adequate deposits? You just look at across the board, the deposits growth is there. Now, you may argue that the growth should be higher, but there is no deceleration in the growth. Just a few weeks ago, people were talking of that there will be deceleration, there will be negative growth in deposits, so therefore banks will suffer, therefore sell the banks. And therefore the Bank Nifty was struggling. Now, in the last 1 week, Bank Nifty has shown what it's truly worth. We have been continuously bullish on Bank Nifty. I've been mentioning that Bank Nifty will pull up the Nifty. Rather, the probability of Bank Nifty pulling up the Nifty is far higher than Nifty pulling the Bank Nifty down. In such a case, we have to, look at the prices, and they say, Bhav hi Bhagwan hai, which means price is God. Price is telling us in Bank Nifty that I want to go up. I don't want to get into this head and shoulder. And if head and shoulder fails, then the possibility of a significant move up is very high, which is what has been shown. That is a characteristic of a failure. Of any strong pattern means that its rebound will be much sharper than what people can think of. So people have gone to the weekend thinking that things are going to get worse in Bank Nifty, especially HDFC Bank and Kotak Bank. Now HDFC Bank has blown apart from all the estimates. Kotak Bank has done well in my opinion. ICICI Bank is waiting, and the other day Axis Bank came up with very good results on Thursday. All the analysts were talking of Axis Bank going to be hammered on Friday, and sure enough, Axis Bank went up by 5%. So ICICI Bank is coming to town on in the next 1 week. I expect ICICI Bank results to be one of the best among banking sector. So I'm not able to see. And you look at PSU banks, you look at Central Bank, IOB, you look at Bank of Maharashtra. These banks have gone up 20%, 30%, 40%, which means their PEG is less than 1. And people talk of PEG, if it is less than 1, then it is a very good thing, because PEG generally is too